Welcome to Workplace Psychology with Dr. Martha Greidick. I'm Dr. Martha Greidick. This podcast examines a wide variety of work-related issues through the lens of industrial and organizational psychology. And while many of the topics discussed here may be seen as intended for white-collar employees and their employers, in reality, the ideas presented here are applicable across organizations and industries. Additionally, many of the topics discussed here may be applicable outside of the workplace. I encourage you to examine what's presented here, apply what makes sense to you, and simply discard the rest. Mentoring has always been very helpful at the workplace, and while not all organizations have had official or formal mentoring programs as part of the experience, many have engaged in informal mentoring, which is still very helpful. Unfortunately, with the pandemic, there have been many changes and disruptions. And as the popularity of remote work has increased over the last few years, mentoring has fallen off the radar, and fewer mentoring relationships have continued as they have before or have started to begin with. Mentoring can be as important for new employees as it is for employees who have been with an organization for a while. And it doesn't take much to figure out that mentoring can certainly benefit remote workers. Remote workers experience very little or no in-person interaction with others at the organization. There may also be very little or no cross-training when considering those who work remotely. Those are just a few of the reasons why remote workers can benefit greatly from a mentoring relationship. Mentoring can be a great deal of help when it comes to onboarding, and while onboarding may fall largely onto the HR department, there is much to be said for a mentor outside of the HR department to help along with the onboarding process. A comprehensive onboarding process can be a lengthy one, sometimes as long as a full year. That's a great reason to incorporate mentorship into an onboarding program. For a new employee, a mentor can help them to integrate into the organization, not only at the organizational level, but also at the team level. In other words, a new employee can gain a great deal of help from a mentor in terms of understanding the company's culture and the team dynamics. Regardless of the employee's time with the organization, a mentorship can be very helpful with both growth and development and career planning. Some sources suggest that it may be beneficial to have more than one mentor at the organization, perhaps one mentor who is more closely positioned to the mentee's position within the organization, perhaps someone within the same department, and another mentor who is further removed from the mentee to give them a different perspective. And while the benefits of a proper mentorship or mentoring relationship can be many, the details of such a relationship are beyond the scope of this particular episode and can be addressed in a different episode. But the bottom line is that meeting with a mentor once a month, or perhaps once a quarter, or once every 6 months would be a great way to get things started. And the meetings could be more frequent at the beginning of the relationship and more spaced out as the relationship progresses. So the question to you as an employer is, do you have a mentorship program? Is it a formal program, or is there an informal program in place or an informal practice in place? If you already have a mentorship program, make sure to review it and ensure that those who work remotely are not left out of this benefit. If your organization does not have a mentorship program, consider putting one in place. As I've already mentioned, the benefits are many and can be very helpful to not only new employees, but also to those who have been within the organization for a while. If you're an employee, don't wait until the organization approaches you with the idea of a mentorship. Ask whether there is a mentorship program in place. And if there is not one, you should still ask for a mentor so that you can have a better experience with the organization. And while the benefits of a mentorship program are many, it's important to remember that those who are in the role of a mentor give of their time and energy to help a junior colleague, which means that the mentee should take the relationship seriously to reap all of the benefits and make sure that the time and effort put in by both parties is well worth it. As this episode comes to an end, let's review what was discussed. First and foremost, mentorships can be a tremendous benefit within organizations. Unfortunately, with the changes brought on by the pandemic, many mentorship programs, whether formal or informal, have come to a stop. Mentorships can be even more important to remote workers, especially if they are new to the organization. However, it's important to remember that a proper mentorship program can have benefits for everyone involved, regardless of which side of the relationship they're on and how long they've been with the organization. If you're an employer and have a mentorship program, make sure that your remote employees are benefiting from that program. And if you do not have a mentorship program, consider establishing one for its many benefits. And as an employee, don't wait around until somebody offers to mentor you. Speak up and ask for a mentor. You will be surprised how beneficial it will be to your experience as long as you respect the relationship and put in the effort. As the week unfolds, I invite you to examine your own situation. Whether you are the employer or the employee, consider a mentorship program within your organization. Take what you've learned here today and pursue the idea of proper mentorships so that you and the organization can both benefit long term. Thank you for joining me today. Please subscribe to this podcast. I hope that you will join me again next time. Until then, I wish you joy and well-being.